So friends, I think for the past 2 weeks, we've been exploring 2 weeks of values associated with peace begins with me. At the first week, I think we talked, Sister Santi, talked about simplicity. And last week, Sister Nandini talked about engaging with our senses wisely. Today, we will explore another set of values, which is seclusion and stillness. This sounds a bit quite distant, right? Seclusion, wow, must seclude myself. So, just like the Buddha has said, the great oceans of the world, the 4 great oceans of the world, has one taste. That is the taste of salt. Any ocean you go, the taste is salt. So the Buddha said, this, the doctrine and the discipline taught by the Buddha has only one taste. That is the taste of freedom from this samsaric existence that we are having. Only one taste, that is freedom. And when we have seclusion and simplicity, this is one of the values that you will experience, that is this freedom of difficulty within us, to have peace within us. So it is this taste, this freedom from suffering, this process brings us to seclusion and stillness, and this is the basis for inner peace. We have to have inner peace for liberation. We cannot be just liberated like that. It has to have this basis. So the Buddha described, everywhere the Buddha describes seclusion as a very significant aspect of Buddhist practice. Very significant. And in many of the scriptural texts, and also during the time of the Buddha emphasized, he asked the monks and lay people to go to the foothills, to the forest, to the root of the tree, or to an empty hut or a secluded place, and then to sit and direct their mind towards this mindfulness and seclusion. The Buddha emphasized a lot of it. Even when the Buddha was about to pass away, 3 months before the Buddha announced, he said, "This is my end, I'm going to pass away soon." Many of the monks who were not enlightened at that moment, they were very sad. They were overcome with emotion and they cried, even cried. But there was one monk, he went into seclusion, and the monks complained to the Buddha, "This monk never do any work, every day sit there and close his eyes." And the Buddha summoned him. And then he said, "Lord," he said, "I want to gain enlightenment. Before the Buddha passed away, before the Blessed One passed away, it is my intention that I want to gain arahantship. That's why I go into seclusion." And the Buddha praised him. The Buddha said, "Very good, continue." And also the Buddha said, one who has tasted this meditative seclusion, when we seclude ourselves and still our mind, the Buddha said, one will be free actually from fear and evil. Our mind will not be afraid of any evil or any fear of any things that disturb us. So this is one of the most important things we got to remember about seclusion and stillness. What does sound come from? No? I didn't put anything. It's okay, we got entertainment this morning. So this morning, I think these 2 young ladies, young friends of ours who were up there, talking to us about how, I think one of them said about how during exams, she breathes and goes into mindfulness. I think this is one of the, I was very, very inspired by that little sister's practice in terms of quieting her mind just before the examination. Because all of us in the lay world, we are socially connected. We have to live a social life, right? It's no way we go and hide ourselves, right? We have to be socially connected to survive. But even then, we live in this very noisy world. Actually, it's a very noisy world and quite unstable, the world we live in, because people around us is like that. We cannot stop other people from being the way they are. In fact, at one time, we were also noisy and very unstable people. If you reflect back wisely, we also were one of those characters who, because of our lack of this knowledge, we behave in this manner. So we live in this kind of a world. But there are people who choose to live away and live very secluded lives. For example, some like privacy. They don't like to mix with people. Have you come across people who are quite private when they don't talk to you, they just come, they just go? So this is also a kind of a seclusion that lay people choose. Some got social anxiety, I think last time I got social anxiety. If people ask me anything, I will answer one word only. Other than that, I would answer. I have this kind of social anxiety and also kind of an introvert. So this is also a kind of seclusion that we have. Some people are very independent, so they really don't need this kind of social interaction kind of a thing. Independent. When I was a young teenager, I wanted to be independent. I told my mother, first thing, I want to leave this place. I said, I don't want to live in the home because it's too claustrophobic for me. Everything must like this, must like that. So I was a very free-spirited nonsense fellow. So I also took off and went off on my own. And ever since I left, I never go back and stay with my family. Of course, I go back and visit them. But what I mean is I go on my own, independently, away from my family. There are some people who are very creative. Creative people, they like some kind of seclusion within themselves and also with other people around them. Some, they run away from social responsibility, family and social responsibility. Then they say, I want to seclude myself. I don't want to get involved. So there's this kind of worldly seclusion. In the 1970s, there was a man by the name of Howard Hughes. Have you anybody heard this name? Howard Hughes? Now, he was an American. He was an entrepreneur, was a businessman. He was a pilot. He was very successful, one of the very most successful people in the world. Very, very famous those days. Now, he was so famous, and he was also a film producer. But towards the end of his life, he developed this kind of anxiety. And he became a very private person. He in fact locked himself into a hotel room, and he never come out of that room And he wears a mask, and anybody who comes in must be fully sanitized. So his room became his prison kind of a thing. And he suffered from this kind of seclusion. And in the end, when he was so sick, he even didn't want to go to the hospital. He needed hospital care, but he didn't want to go to the hospital. And he died on the way on a plane. He was very rich. He was so successful, yet because of this mind, he became, you know what he was afraid of? He was afraid of germs. Germs that he couldn't see. He was so afraid that the germs, in fact, they did kill him in the end. So it's like that seclusion. So there is a story about a man who was in the forest. He was out in the forest, and suddenly as he walked in the forest, he came across this wild elephant. And this wild elephant started chasing him. He chased him, he ran, and he saw a big hole in the ground. So he jumped into he climbed down into the hole through the roots of the tree that was nearby. There was some roots, so he climbed down. Oh, he said, thank God I escaped from this wild elephant. And then he looked down, and down below, he saw a very poisonous cobra down there. There was another snake, a pit of a snake. Oh my God, he said, I got a wild elephant up there and a snake here. Then he looked around, he saw a black mice and a white mice. They were biting the root of that roots he was holding on, He said, any time they are going to bite that thing and he's going to drop into the well. So he cannot escape up also like that, down also like that. And while because he ran in a hurry, he knocked into the tree, there was a big beehive. And that beehive became active, and then the bees all started biting him, flying down and start biting him. So he was now bitten by bees. There's an elephant up there, and he's down looking snakes everywhere. And these two mice biting away. But at that time, wow, the honey from the tree up there, the beehive started dripping, wild honey, so nice. He was tasting the honey, despite all the difficulty and the suffering around him. So our life is like this. The Buddha said, we are surrounded by death, old age, sickness, all kinds of things, but we are still very happy in our pursuing our worldly things without paying attention to this kind of practice of seclusion and stillness. So, what is this value of seclusion and stillness? Why are we in this condition that although we see this word seclusion and stillness, it looks a bit scary, right? Does it look scary to all of you? Uncomfortable sometimes? Only those meditate can. Otherwise, it's like very scary, right, this word. So why it became very foreign? Why is that? Because we have been conditioned. All our life we have been conditioned to think that when we are we're doing something that is equal to progress, is equal to success. I mean, we constantly have to be doing something in order to be considered that we are actually doing something useful. So we are always like that. So, but actually the opposite is true, because this seclusion and stillness is the presence of awareness. Just like our young sister who said, when she is very worried about the exam, she just sit down and she just has to breathe, bring her mind back to the present moment. There is this presence of awareness that I am feeling nervous, and then there's nothing to worry. Everything is going to be okay. Just relax. Yeah? So seclusion and stillness is not about going and hiding somewhere, but it is about being in the presence of awareness. Secondly it is an antidote. We are always overstimulated. We have a lot of work, and we are fed with this world. Our phone is one. Shopee. Every day Shopee. I press something, the Shopee app come already. I press many times also, the app don't want to go. Until I have to press, until there's one I press until tada lagi. Many times I press also, the app don't want to go off, I also don't know why. Until I got to just shut the whole thing down and then just leave the phone aside. So these things are always, we are overfed and we are stimulated in this world. So this seclusion and stillness is a value for us. And the third thing is, it is an ability for us to stay focused and stay calm. Stay focused. Even when we do good things, we can feel very agitated. Do you realize that? We are doing good things. Sometimes we do service also can be very agitated, right? We got so many worries. So this stillness, it's a time to breathe. It's okay. So to stay focused and to stay calm, and also manage our emotions, especially when we have to make very, very hard decisions. This is the time when seclusion and stillness arises to the forefront of our mind, especially high pressure. Sister Budini go to work, have to make decision whether this or that. Every one of us has to make certain decisions along their life. So when we breathe and we take this stillness and calmness and seclusion into our mind, we can make decisions wisely. Otherwise, we'll be very agitated all the time, overstimulated. Yeah. So this seclusion and stillness does not imply repression. Sometimes we thought we are denying ourselves. By secluding, we are actually denying ourselves. We want to be lonely, or there's some kind of division that, I have to go and do like this, then only I am secluded. But actually, this seclusion and stillness supports our mindful practice. When we go into seclusion, when we take time off from our very busy schedules, every year, plan your calendar. At least once a year, I go into seclusion. Yeah, once a year. We got how many days in a year? This side, don't know. Only that side, no. We have 365 days in a year. we can at least allocate about 5 days. Brother Louis, I'm looking at you. Yeah. Yeah, we can actually set aside a certain amount of days to go into physical seclusion as such, because this seclusion, physical seclusion, is the one that takes us to our mental seclusion and stillness. So it is not that we want to, it is knowing a path to choose wisely by having stillness and calmness within us. It is a path that we choose towards our own liberation. So in this sutta, the Pa Viveka Sutta, in the Anguttara Nikaya Book of Trees, Sutta number 92, the Buddha actually enumerated 3 types of seclusion. Okay, let's look at the first one. The first one is about, the Buddha say, is being morally virtuous. Now, it has got nothing to do with going and hiding somewhere, right? It's not going to a secluded place. It's not going to a retreat center. But the Buddha said, being morally virtuous is it is a basic, if you want to go for retreats, you have to start with this, being virtuous, practicing our 5 precepts diligently. Yeah? It trains the mind. When in our daily life we practice our 5 precepts diligently, then it softens our mind. We become kinder, we become more, compassionate, we become more harmonious with things and people around us. So by observing these 5 precepts, we are actually preparing ourselves for the formal meditation. So that's why the Buddha said, in this sutta, the Buddha said, being morally virtuous is also part of seclusion and stillness. You just cannot go. Those who go for retreat now without observing 5 precepts, they have a lot of difficulty, especially Westerners. They like to go for meditation, or they love meditation, but they don't observe precepts, because precepts is not part of their learning culture. When they go there, they got tons of questions for the teacher, because they don't have this basis of morality already practicing within them. So that's why the Buddha said this, it is not when we practice our virtues, we are not in conflict. We tend to find peace within us and harmony within us. And that is the one that sets the foundation for our practice. So being morally virtuous is a very important part of seclusion and stillness. If you go for retreat, you don't even observe 5 precepts. You now observe 8 precepts, a higher level of precepts. But in our daily life, this moral virtuous is because we want to be non-violent, be compassionate, and be in harmony. Now, lack of these virtues means it darkens the mind. The mind is a very dark mind. People can get angry easily, they can kill easily, they can fight easily, they can do all kinds of things when the mind is a dark mind. So being morally virtuous is a very important step towards seclusion and stillness. Then the second, the Buddha said, is having right view. What is right view? In the mundane sense, a right view is about karma and rebirth. When we talk of seclusion and stillness, this karma and rebirth is very important, because if this is our only life, if this is our only life, we can do whatever we want, right? Because we're not going to be born again, correct? No? Correct? That is the basis of it. The principle is, if we are only one life, what the hell you want to practice these 5 precepts, karma and rebirth? Doesn't make sense, because you're not going to born again. One life, YOLO, only one life. You only got one life, right? YOLO, is it? You only live once, yeah. So it doesn't make sense. So the Buddha said you have to have right view, knowing that there is karma, whatever we do, good or bad, there is a results of it, and there is going to be rebirth. So when we have rebirth, and we are not even attempting to seclude and still our mind, we go into rebirth again and again, then the results will be unwholesome for us. So it's very important, this right view, having right view. 2 very important. And the third, the Buddha said, is eradicating mental defilements. So seclusion and stillness involves not only just precepts and view, but also eradicating our mental defilements. These are very, very, very fine mental tendencies underlying in our hidden, deep within our recess of our mind. Sometimes we also cannot understand. There are times when those days, I'll just get very angry, little things I will get super angry, unnecessarily angry. And I wonder, how come I thought I was a very good person, but how come I'm constantly getting angry? How come I tend to be this kind of not nice person. I can know myself I'm not a good person. I look very good, but actually I'm not good. Then after learning Dhamma, I realized we have these very underlying tendencies within us that influence our mind. The external factors are there, but the internal factors are these defilements within us that is causing a lot of difficulties. So the Buddha said, stillness and seclusion is about guarding our sense doors and engaging our senses wisely. I think last week sister already covered I think she's covered a lot, so I won't explain a lot on that. So in the Dhammapada verse, the Buddha said, this Dhammapada verse said, if by giving up a lesser happiness, one can expect greater happiness, then a person should renounce this lesser happiness in the prospect of a larger happiness. So even by sitting here on this Sunday morning, I am sure all of us got many things to do. We can, nice weather right this morning, get up only got drizzling, so nice. Can continue sleeping, pull the cover some more, aircon going on, wonderful to sleep. We could have all done that, but today we choose that we want to give up. That is a lesser happiness. This is a greater happiness. We can know for ourselves. I give up a lesser happiness. So there was once a Brahmin. He had a son. He sent the son to a teacher. Those days, people don't go to school. No, they go to a teacher. There's a teacher. The teacher will take in a few students. So he sent him to this teacher. Then this son learned everything from this teacher. The teacher couldn't teach him anymore. So he said, okay, I recommend you go to another teacher. And that teacher was a Pachika Buddha. He already is is enlightened person. So this boy went to this Pachika Buddha and he was learning. But however, he got sick and he passed away. And by the time he passed away, he also gained enlightenment. This son also got enlightened, but he passed away. And then he was buried there. So one day, those days don't have a handphone, don't have internet, don't have a telephone. So the father traveled to see the teacher, and then the teacher said, I sent him to this place. So the father went from place to place and then asked this Pachika Buddha, where is my son? He said, your son passed away already. So he said, he's buried there. So this man went, he saw the burial ground, he cleaned, he was very sad. Of course, he was so sad that he didn't know that his son had passed away. So he cleaned, he put some flowers, he go and pluck some flowers, he made very nice, he made the place very nice. He of course, he wept. He was very, sad. But that was a Pachika Buddha, he didn't know that his son was a Pachika Buddha. And because of that person, the Brahmin is actually the Bodhisattva in his past life. And he said when he went to many places and he was well received, he was honored, he was served all kinds of food. People respected the Buddha. It's not because he was the Buddha. It was because he had done this deed for this Pachika Buddha in terms of cleaning and paying respects, although he didn't know his son was a Pachika Buddha. But the Buddha said that very thing, doing that small thing, in this life as the Buddha, everywhere he went, he was fettered, he was taken care of. So this is, the Buddha said, we give up something less and in order to get a greater happiness in terms of our future lives. Yeah? So in this, in the Nidesa, there is commentaries. There are these three types of seclusion. Viveka. The word seclusion means, in Pali, the word is viveka. There's three. One is bodily, kaya, viveka. Then we have the mental, chitta viveka, and clinging and attachment, which is upadhi viveka. There are these three types of seclusion. So let's look at them one by one. So the first one is physical seclusion, or kaya viveka. Now, this physical seclusion is the most basic and initial form of seclusion for our practitioners. Very basic form, and it's the initial form. You have to go from time to time. Buddhist practitioners or practitioners at the sense take time to go for retreats. So that's why in the beginning I said, do make time for retreats, because this is the forerunner to actually seclusion and stillness. So we take time away from our families, from our work. You know, all of us are very busy, very hard to go for, even go for holidays is so difficult, but take time away from our families, our responsibilities, and then so that nobody can disturb us, so we go for meditation and what do you call that? And even the Buddha said, not only go for seclusion, can go into homeless also better. Go into a homeless life. Going into seclusion, and from seclusion, going into a homeless life. So, why the Buddha said that? Because this is the start for the sasana to actually thrive. Because when we have monks and nuns, then the sasana can survive. If we don't have monks and nuns, nobody will know the Dhamma, because they are the ones who are the full-time practitioners, who practice meditation. They teach us the Dhamma from the time of the Buddha until now. The sasana, the monk and the nuns are the ones who have brought the Dhamma to us. So this is also, this seclusion and stillness is also part of that lineage that has brought the Dhamma down to us. So physical seclusion, what is it about? The first is, it is a very basic, okay, just now I say already, it's a time to cultivate our inner peace, then appreciate solitary life. You all appreciate not to be lonely? Like, only two head only I see. The rest, okay. I think we like, from time to time, it's good to go and live a solitary life. You know, when you go for a retreat, you don't talk to anyone, yeah? You don't chit-chat. Even your roommate also like buat tatau. You don't know who's your roommate until when the retreat is over, then only you say hello or beginning. So we learn to live this kind of solitary life. Really don't talk to anyone. Although you see people walking around here and there, people doing things, they don't exist for you. You just concentrate your mind on your whatever is going on within this body of ours. Yeah? And also to be modest, content with very few needs. When you go for a retreat, what do? You get up, you just eat only after 1 or 2 meals a day, then you there's nothing much in terms of entertainment, no entertainment and all. So there's only, you're already training yourself to be away from needs, all the distractions that we have in our daily life. So with very few needs, only food, place to sleep, and a place to sit and meditate. Only 3 things you need there. And the teacher to guide us. And then to be alert and vigilant. When this physical seclusion, we always be alert, and we have these negative patterns of thinking that comes up in our mind. We are already, what do you call that? Make sure that our seclusion is to make sure that our negative patterns of thinking don't come. In one of the suttas, I think it's the Migajala Sutta, the Buddha said, even if you are in seclusion, if you are sitting secluded, and then your mind got a lot of thoughts coming on, it means you actually got companion one. You are with a companion. So don't think if you sit there quietly, nothing is happening. Actually, a lot of, especially in the initial stages, you have thoughts of your home. I don't know whether my son do homework or not. I don't know my husband got on the aircon or not, got washed the toilet or not. Many kinds of thoughts will come to us. So the Buddha said, even if you are in seclusion, sister is smiling. I think she got thinking about her husband. I don't know got eat or not. My darling got eat or not. So we are associating with others. And alone in seclusion, we still with a companion. So physical seclusion is like bodily. We cultivate our inner peace. We learn how to live solitarily, and also content with few things. And this is a condition for us to actually get away from these negative points of thinking. Because when negative thoughts come out, we are alone there. Then we can actually see our thoughts coming and going, and we try to observe them as they come. So this is physical seclusion. Now what about mental seclusion? We take our minds everywhere, correct? Our mind go everywhere. Go toilet also, mind goes with us, right? Whether we are hiking, we are at a beach, we are looking at a lovely sunrise, we are looking after our children, changing their diapers, giving them milk. We are at a very important meeting, retreat. Everything, our mind is with us. We may be sitting in a quiet place. All these agitated thoughts will come, future plans, restlessness, fantasy. Sometimes we fantasize, how nice, if my girlfriend now with me, I can hold hand, we can look at each other, so nice. We have a lot of fantasy also going on. Then we are not secluded. So seclusion, this mental seclusion is actually understanding and developing mindfulness. Understand the nature. What is this nature of this thought? Why is it arising and going away? Why is this particular thought comes to me? Why is that particular thought arising? And then it sticks, Sometimes the thought, after a while, they come back again, disturb you again, right? You get up in the morning, the same thought will come back to you. You go to sleep, the thought will come to you. So you can, when we are in seclusion, mental seclusion means that we can actually observe, why is this thought always coming and bothering me? So it is not about pushing it away, but really understanding the nature of this thought that is arising. So these five mental hindrances, like kama chanda, which is sensual desire. Then we have ill will. We have sloth and torpor. Then we have worries, restlessness and worry. And we have skeptical, doubts. So these five mental, when we are doing mental seclusion, slowly but surely we can overcome these five mental hindrances, especially sloth and torpor. We always overcome with sloth and torpor, especially when it comes to practicing mindfulness. When you want to sit upside, only the bored mind will say, no need lah. I think lie down better one. Do lying down meditation. Then you go to sleep already. Correct or not? So when we practice, go for mental seclusion, we can overcome this sloth and torpor. So whenever sometimes we sit, listen to Dhamma talk also, this sloth and torpor will come to us. So when we are mindful, we can take a deep breath and we practice because when we are in retreat, the teacher will teach us certain things that we can do to overcome our sleepiness. For example, the teacher will say, use your tongue to touch your your mouth. They will also teach you to do touch points, wherever you're sitting, wherever there's contact, your body, your buttocks, or your arms, wherever we are touching, contact. Then your mind is not with the object, the primary object, but it is with the secondary object. So it diverts your mind, because when you are with this primary object, you tend to go to sleep. So sometimes when the sleep comes, you're very happy when you'll just sloth and torpor. Even when we are doing things at home, when we have a project to do, we will procrastinate, right? Wait lah, later lah, tomorrow lah. Wife asks you, please clean the car. Wait lah. Then you watching your TikTok there very, very happily. So these are all sloth and torpor that we can overcome, and all the other five hindrances, which I won't go very detailed. And then there is this, we give our mental hindrances wise attention, not unwise attention. We give it very wise. We actually observe, why is this thing? Like when I went for retreat once, beginning is always happy sleep man, sure sleep man. So the teacher asked me, please describe sleep. When you say I'm sleepy, please describe sleep. I said, how to describe sleep? Sleep is sleep lah. Sleep. Then she said, okay, go back. Okay, the next hour, observe your sleep, and then you come back and report next day. So this time, okay, sit nicely, sleep. Oh, then I observe carefully. Oh, sleep, how does it know? When you're aware, eyes will become heavy, correct? You know your eyes are becoming very heavy. I want to close already. When you know your eyes heavy, then you must open bigger some more. Not when you're meditating, you close eyes, but you open in your meditation. Then your body will go forward. You're aware your body is going forward. So these are things that we practice during our bodily seclusion. And then mentally we are aware this body is going. So we give wise attention to these, mental hindrances that come. So this is also a way of practicing our mental seclusion. Thirdly is free our mind from obstructive mental states. Always there's a lot of ill wills. Let's say you have a difficulty with one of the friends in the office, your colleague in the office, and it is a very intense kind of anger that you have against this person. When you're in meditation and you're secluding yourself, this thought will come again and again and trouble you. Then you have to find, actually, why I don't like this person. What did this person do to me that I am so angry about this person? Actually, what happened? So we give it wise attention, and then the answer will come out by itself. Actually, the answer all there is because of our stubbornness, and we don't give it wise attention. Then we will know that because there are many things that we do not understand about this world. Like I had a great anger and hatred for my maternal uncle. I hated him like hell. I see his face only, I want to check him. And I have a lot of hatred for him because of things that he did when I was a young person to my sister, not to me, to my sister. But when I see him, I get very angry. But one day, because of this seclusion, then this thought arises in me. Actually, he is the one. And I asked myself, actually, why I'm angry? He's already dead and gone. He's dead and gone many, many years, but yet this anger is so deeply rooted in me. And one day, when I was having this seclusion, then this thought came to me. Actually, I should be very grateful to him because of him, I got to go for a good education. He registered me in the missionary school. I got an absolutely fabulous education. Without him, I'll be in the Tamil school. You all won't see me here today, okay? I will be somewhere else. But because of him, but I didn't know about these things, the gratitude, nothing. I only remember that incident that caused a lot of hatred to me. So when we are in mental seclusion, we give it wise attention. Actually, what is happening? No? And let's now come to a video. End of video. What did you all experience during this video? Did you notice that you didn't have any unwholesome thoughts? Correct, not? Correct? You were so focused, right, on this video, what was going to come next. And then you see the butterfly flapping its wings. You see the horse is riding. Many things going on, motion going on. You're actually watching this video, and then there's nothing in your mind. Correct or not? Most of us, some may be very busy, the mind doing something. But most of us, you see, this is what we mean by bodily and mental seclusion. Although you are here among a lot of people, but we are secluded in our body, and our mind is also secluded. There's stillness. Now you're just watching what is going on. Your mind is not producing any thoughts. Correct, no? Did you experience this thing? Now let's go on to the next one, which is the seclusion from attachments and clinging, which is upadi. Upadi means clinging, craving. First we start with craving, right? The Buddha said the cause, the Four Noble Truths, the cause of all our suffering is craving. But we don't stop at craving. We go on to clinging, It's like a craving is like a one-way direction. It just goes and goes and goes. Then it becomes so intense. It becomes clinging. Like, for example, if we like something and we don't get it, it's like so much of disappointment. We have looking forward to a promotion, and then we don't get. Yesterday I was reading the news. There was one guy, he said he took 6 months off to look after a family member who was very sick. 6 months after he graduated. So after his 6 months, now he start looking for a job. But he said he cannot find a job. Already another 6 months, he said, and this is in Singapore, which I'm thinking is quite impossible. Singapore, all the Malaysian fellows all working there. The Singapore fellow don't know how to get a job. So I'm wondering what is happening. But he says he cannot get a job. And he is asking people, why, ask him, advise him. So this is like, we are too attached to this, I don't get a job. There are many things that we can do besides just getting what you want. It becomes clinging. And when it becomes clinging, it's a lot of suffering. Now the guy is like, I can see from the conversation, there's a lot of dukkha, suffering of clinging. Not only the craving, it becomes clinging now. Yeah. So when we take very fixed positions, when we cling, we become focused and we take very fixed positions. Then we like either good or bad. Everything is like category already, It's either good or bad. Either it is worthy or not worthy. Or this is very valuable, this is not valuable. We tend to be that kind of position when we are cling. We don't see, we only see black and white. We don't see there are a lot of gray one. Sometimes things are like that, Things just happen because we do not know the reasons, causes, and conditions. But we become, when we cling, then it becomes like that. I want means I want, And that's where people go and kill each other, steal from each other, murder. A lot of stuff is happening in the world, yeah. And then there is this, attachment into these worldly things we grasp. So this reinforces that our belief system, we hold on to opinion. Even our opinions we hold on to, right? I am right, you are wrong. You are wrong, I say you are wrong. I cannot see the value of what you are trying to tell me. It is like, I am like this. You cannot change me, I'm like this one, correct? We come across, even we last time is like that. Louis is, I looking at, okay. And then we are like, I need this. I don't care what I'm doing. I need this thing. And we also said, I also need to get rid of this thing. I don't like this person. How can I get rid of this person? And people plan, how to get rid of people. Sometimes we hear these court cases going on. People, they plan how to get rid of someone they don't like. It's amazing how the mind can envision these kind of things. It reinforces our belief system, our opinions, and according to our own desire. And And then our mind make very busy, because of that our mind becomes so busy, become planning, a lot of planning going on, a lot of, plans, a lot of future plan, what I have to do, what I don't have to do, why that flower is like this, why like that, So we carry on with this, liberation. So when we have this seclusion from this clinging and attachment, it is actually we liberate ourselves. Our mind becomes a very happy mind. It becomes a very joyful mind because there's so much of space. When you have all this clinging and all that, everything is like penuh, Imagine you got a bucket and it's full, So much inside there. There's no place for joy already. There's no place for happiness. And there's no place for giving. There's no place for compassion because it is too filled with defilements. And then we steal all the formation, all the angry thoughts, all this becomes still already, no more already. And we cease from clinging, wrong views, all the defilements become. So this is the clinging of seclusion from upadhi. We don't cling anymore. So the other day, I'm moving house. So I have a piano to send to Johor Bahru. So this man, I made arrangement with the piano mover. Okay, he says, okay, I will come on Tuesday, and then I will arrangement made 2 weeks ago. 1 week ago, I already update everything, paid already. Semua sudah siap. So on the day, Tuesday, I'm very happy. I go for my walk, come, take breakfast early, waiting for the man to come. He said, 12 o'clock, waiting. 12 o'clock, come and go already. 1 o'clock, no show, no call. So I'm wondering, what happened? Did I make a mistake? I keep my phone checking. Then I call him, texted him. I said, Abang, where is your lorry? He said, he sent me a message. He said, nanti I check driver. He checked his driver. So, okay. 1 hour go by. Never check with driver, never come back to me. I marah already because why? I got things to do, I actually got many things to do, but I'm waiting for him. So my anger, you see, is piling up already, this clinging now. I'm very angry already. Anger come already. Then, after 2 o'clock, I sent him, I said, what happened? Then he said, oh, my krani now from driver, go to the clerk already, krani. He said, saya punya krani salah hantar WhatsApp. Message sent yesterday, it seems. He said that they cannot come today. Somehow he can say salah send, I also don't know how he say. But if he salah send, why he called the driver? He got, no need to call driver, right? If he salah send. So I think he must have gone round and on. But yet I was not satisfied because I was waiting for him and people are already on the other side waiting to receive because they also take time off to arrange their time to wait. So, so this clinging cost me so much of, that half a day I was like burning, I was in hell already. This clinging of why this person didn't come, bluff me, say story lah. I just couldn't, see the mind. I didn't take care of mine at that time. There was so much of clinging. Then after that, wisdom came, wise attention came already. Only so manasingkara came. I sit down there, I scolded myself. Ayo, I say, Sister Paru, what happened to you? Why you so worked up? It's only a piano. It's okay. Today, never mind, we can make other arrangements. And then the guy said, that he said what? No, he told me what? No, he want to take end of the month. End of the month, I got to shift out already. So lagi I marah, So half a day, I'm like, my mind is burning in this clinging and attachment. So when I realized, then, so peace. The mind is so peaceful away from all that. I say, it's okay, just drop everything. When I drop everything, I became so peaceful and so nice, so wonderful. Good, right? So this practice, suddenly, for a while I was in hell. Then after that, I came back to heaven. Yeah, to Sita heaven. I was so happy after that. Then I started making arrangements. I called the other person and say, sorry, no delivery. Then I say, you please. Then he said, I scold him. Yeah. I scolded him lah. I said, why you like this, never come? And they said, I refund you the money lah. I say, okay, you refund me back. Then I got to find another transporter now because he only can do end of the month. So I go and do the things that are necessary to get done instead of clinging and suffering to myself. So this is an example of how this upadi, this kind of thing. Then when you seclude, you say, hey, I'm actually attaching and clinging and suffering in the process. A whole day, half a day gone, just in the mind, burning away, very hot, very dark, the mind. So this is this destruction of our defilements, this wrong view that we have. Friends, this is a toolkit for us to seclude and still our mind. How we can, in our daily, wherever you are, even if you're restless, you're worried, not sure, you feel lonely. Sometimes we feel very lonely, unappreciated. Nobody appreciates you. And then sometimes we are even very confused. It is sometimes life is so unfair. I have 6 months or so, I cannot get a job. Nobody wishes me good morning. Nobody acknowledges I'm around. Then we reach into our inner self, our inner seclusion, our inner stillness. This is a toolkit that we can find. Maybe we may not be in that situation at this current moment. Maybe we have good things in our life, we have a lot of friends around us we don't feel. But whenever in future or when times when we are lonely, we are restless, we are unhappy, then we can tune into these toolkits that we can happen, that is to be fully present. Fully present to our joy as well as to our suffering. Not only suffering we must be present, even to our joy. When we are with someone that, or things that we are, let's say we are in a sunset. I went to, I think, Nepal, I think. We went to see the, what do you call, Mount Everest, that side there. The morning, the sunrise. It's absolutely, I don't think you have seen, unless you go to this kind of mountain, when when it is all dark, then suddenly, far away in the distance, you see something very like gold one, One small spot of gold will appear out of the darkness, And then suddenly you'll see another shape, a long shape. And then the mountain ranges are slowly gold, It's all gold. In the dark, the gold. Oh, fantastic. Then you just sit there, just fully present, enjoying. You can see the hundreds of people in that place where we went to see the sunrise. We had to travel very early to go and get a place on the top to see this beautiful nature's drama going on. And you just everybody is so silent, just observing the Mother Nature, so beautiful, all fully present. Not wanting to miss out even a bit of that show that is going on because it's so beautiful. So always fully present. Even if you are in difficulty, be present. Like as I was present to the suffering that was going on, piano suffering I call it. Tune into the suffering and say, yeah lah, ayo, why so much of problem? Just drop it. Or happiness. If you are with someone, you're really present to them. Use this to be fully present to someone. Say something good to them. Have you ever said something good to anyone this whole week? Did you say, thank you? I really, really appreciate what you did for me. You are so kind. You are so kind, Brother Seki. There is so much of good things that we can say. Be fully present. Appreciate the person, especially the people around us. Even small things they do for you. I will say thank you to Sister Hui Shen for doing all these slides for us today. You see, beautiful slides, right? Done by her. So, be present, be fully aware, especially to our loved ones. We are actually very distant from our loved ones. We hardly ever say nice things to them. Just be present, hold their hand and say, you look so lovely today. You are my magic. I love you, you can be a bit drama scale. Okay? Then we can also acknowledge our own feeling and emotions. we have a lot of feelings and emotions, anger, hatred, ill will, gladness, joy, many emotions that come into our life. So acknowledge those emotions. Don't suppress them and don't push them away. Acknowledge them. Yes, I really feel joyful today. I really feel happy today. So acknowledge and stay with them. Stay with these emotions that come to us, to be fully still. At that moment, our mind is still when we acknowledge our own emotions. You just pay attention to what is going on, the agitation that is going on. That is already stillness, you know. You are secluding ourselves to observe these emotions going within us. And thirdly, we can also tune into our inner voice. You know, we got a very noisy inner voice. Always chattering away, doing, chattering. Sometimes we don't pay attention to the chattering, you know. What happens to the chattering? That chattering actually converts into feelings. You know, but we watch our feeling only. We watch feeling. We never watch the chattering that is going associated with that. So we're angry. We only see the angry. We never see what is going on in that thing. So stop and see what is the upstairs department doing. A lot of noise going on. So tune into our inner voice. Sometimes it can be a kind voice. Sometimes it can be an angry voice. Sometimes it can be a dark voice. So tune into that voice, just like tune into radio, and then really listen to what is going on. And then practice a lot of self-compassion. In order to be kind, we have to be kind to ourselves. Really, really have a lot of kindness. Okay? And find peace and solution. Actually, everything is within us. Find solution within us. Find peace within us. So now I want to just do a little reflection for all of us. Just, you can do your own reflection within yourself. So the first reflection we are going to do is, do I reserve space for solitude? In our busy lives, do we at times, do we just stop and reserve some space for solitude? Even when you're sitting in your toilet seat, you can reserve space for solitude. You can breathe in, that is the time, but don't breathe in too deeply after all the fume go in. Huh? Or sometimes we sit in our car, before we start the car, in our daily life, we have 24 hours. So many minutes in our life. Do we reserve just a few minutes for solitude? Do you? I don't think we do. We seldom do. We can start from today. Practice some solitude and stillness within. Seclude. Then, is it easy or difficult to be alone with myself? Sometimes we may be alone. But is it very difficult to be alone? Or is it easy? We can also reflect, especially when we are alone. Why am I alone? Why everybody abandoned me? Why nobody think of me? How come? Why Sister Paru never call me and wish me happy birthday? No good, you know. So we have this reflection. Is it easy or difficult? Then we can also ask ourselves, am I contented when I am alone? Actually, these days I spend a lot of time by myself. Most of the time I am alone. So check my mind to see whether am I contented or am I complaining. Yeah? Contented. I know most of you are very busy, got a lot of things. But when there are times when we are alone, you can actually. How densely have I organized my life? You know, our days is like back, back to back. Hardly got time to even catch sleep also. It's very difficult because we are so busy. We even deprive ourselves of our beauty sleep. Sometimes we need 6 hours of solid sleep. We say 3 hours. We work so hard. Then we deprive ourselves of our sleep. So how densely everything packed in together, because we want to see that we are very busy, we are very productive just because we are very busy. But do we practice this kind of space, stillness, and seclusion within ourselves? And lastly, is my life like a schedule or a life that I'm happy to live? Our life is schedule. A morning, 6 o'clock wake up, 7 o'clock break. You know, when you go for retreat or you go for program, they give you a schedule, right? Every day they'll paste on schedule for you. At this time you do this time you do this time lunch, and then you blah, blah, blah until night. It's like a schedule. So is our life also like this, just like a schedule? Or do we think, actually I am so happy with my life. I am so truly happy. Can we say that? Can we really sit down and say, this is the life, man. I am not Elon Musk. I am not Taylor Swift. But I am still me. I am very happy with myself. I am so happy with my life. I cannot be anyone else. What has been given to me, I am truly happy. Can we say that, my dear friends? Because of this, mind is filled with too many things that we don't give time for us to say, I am so happy. I'm perfectly happy with everything as it is. Good things will come, not good things will come. But I am perfectly happy. And that, or is it that my life is scheduled one? Everything is scheduled. No time for stillness and seclusion. So friends, I wish all of you in your daily lives, make time for seclusion. You don't have to go and sit under the tree. You don't have to go to an empty hut. You don't have to go to the foothills. But wherever we are, in our own homes, in our workspaces, in our family life, even in Dhamma work, we can have practice in a way to have this seclusion and stillness of the mind so that we can perfectly enjoy whatever is going on right in front of us. Good or bad, who knows? Like Ajahn Brahm always say, good or bad, who knows? So we always take the time, because that mind is a trained mind, it is a secluded mind, it is a still mind, a mind with a lot of space within, so that it can take everything that comes with it and embrace it with the same equal kind of happiness and joy. Sadness come, not to say we don't say we are not sad, not to say we cannot cry. Please cry your heart out when things are not going your way. Do cry. Please get your handkerchief wet. Tissue also can get wet. But then we are aware of the happiness in our lives. We embrace good and bad that comes into our life because of that seclusion and stillness that is within us. So with that, I wish all of you good health, peace and happiness, and Sukhi Hontu.